As 2022 dawned, Extreme E's St. Helena embarked on an epic voyage like no other. Building on the exhilarating locations of Season 1, the all-electric series set its sights on racing in even more of the world's most extreme and far-flung locations. Where the floating paddock led, the world's best drivers followed. And what ensued was an adventure unparalleled in the motorsport world.
Oh no, another roll!
The season began dramatically as the drivers battled the sand dunes of the Saudi Arabian desert.
Johan Kristoffersen crosses the line to take the win.
A test of perseverance followed when the championship's first ever double-header got underway on the island of Sardinia. South America became the third continent on this year's race map, with the drivers being faced with the extraterrestrial landscape of Chile's Atacama Desert. And finally, the rugged coastline of Punta del Este put our drivers through their paces in a gripping finale, which saw X44 beat RXR by the slimmest of margins.
X44 have won this championship.
A journey of a lifetime, the ride of their lives. So now we look back on the unforgettable adventures of Extreme E's Season 2 Electric Odyssey.
Hyperdrive now.
This season of Extreme E has seen some of the world's best off-road racing taking place across the globe. Our drivers reminisced on their highs and lows and look back on how Season 2 unfolded.
Being in the Saudi desert for the first time, I mean, it was the most spectacular scenery, these beautiful rock formations around the track. And it was a very challenging weekend. We had, some challenges through the qualifying, which left us in the crazy race, but then we had an amazing crazy race.
Saudi Arabia this year was, I think, a turning point, and will be a point in my career which will be a reference, it's before and after the accident.
Yeah, in the crazy race, I had this amazing overtake. I knew I had good momentum, but to go from fourth to second through the second flag point was pretty cool.
Absolutely brilliant from the New Zealander. Slots into P2 from P4. What a great move by Emma Gilmore.
JBXE, though, out in front at the moment with Hansen.
Leading up to it, we were in the race. I was having Molly as my teammate for the first time. And the accident itself, it was to the switch on. And going down the hill, it was a big compression, but also at that time I hit the camel grass. My hip moved forward, my chest stayed intact to the seat, and I cracked the 8th vertebra.
And to be honest, when you're in the crazy race, you actually don't know what's really else is happening around you. So all you're focusing on is just going as fast as possible.
There's no way through up that section. It's very skinny in the track. Oh, he's gone wide. It's gone down the inside line. McLaren gets past him. What a place to overtake.
And then, yeah, Tanner was able to do the overtake on his session. So, yeah, it was a real buzz. It was good fun. But then, obviously, had the disappointment in the final where Tanner was caught out in the dust with another competitor.
Massive crash! A huge crash, it's McLaren!
We experienced all of it in that weekend, but we just learned so much as a team. It was great.
Sardinia, so we were there the year before, so we were very familiar. So that was really cool. That's more our environment. I feel like that's more Californian terrain.
Nice area, nice track, and a little bit dusty. That's the only problem of Sardinia.
So arriving to Sardinia, first time in Extreme E when you arrive on a track which you've driven before, so quite a different approach. You have to look a little bit more into the details of the track. Then, yeah, unfortunately we had the accident with Carlos on the first day.
Carlos Sainz is leading Kyle Le Duc. Watch for the merge here. Who's going to come out in front? Oh, contact! Massive shunt! Massive shunt! I think that's Kristoffersen into Sainz. One car over, that's a wheel of Carlos Sainz. He's upside down.
A little bit tricky at the start, obviously. Everybody knows I'm not coming back to the big accident we have there, which actually it cost us the whole weekend.
Look in the distance, you can see that gap between the Hummer EV Chip Ganassi car. Still about 10 seconds. It looks like this is going to go the way of Rosberg X Racing.
First ever podium coming up as well for Chip Ganassi Racing. That's some reward for them.
We were there to take our first win finally, and that was so big for the team after such a rough first year.
We regrouped and we come back for the second race in Sardinia. I took the start in the final, and then Michaela, I handed the car over to Michaela in P2, and she did a great job on that final lap.
RXR, who took the win in round 2 and had it taken away with a penalty, take the win in round 3.
Yeah, great to share the moment for the first time for me together with the team when the car crosses the finish line in P1. It was a great experience.
Chile, it was very nice, beautiful country. Also the people from there, it was an amazing atmosphere. The support that we received, it was very nice for us.
Yeah, so Chile was kind of a roller coaster for me. Coming there on Wednesday, getting the call up mid-Friday that I needed to have a chat with Abt, and Friday evening, like with the regulation, the driver switch, just everything to get me ready. And I really wanted to qualify for the finals, so we did.
And we are green, we are on the charge in Chile as 5 cars race towards the first turn. Ab Cooper seem to have got a really good start. Then next to them, it's the McLaren team and Acciona Sainz in third, but X44 just muscling them out a little bit. This is going to be really tight round the first turn. You can see them all taking the same line. And wow, X44 muscle their way through. Ab Cooper on the inside line. So at the moment, it's X44 leading the way.
I think for everyone, the track was quite happy because without dust, it was a very nice semi-final and final because you can see everything and it's easy to overtake and to make a good line.
Finish coming up now. This has been absolute carnage. Over the line, Gilmore takes it from McLaren. X44 P2, no time penalty for X44. Well, that's just popped up, which would mean that they win. Nobody knows. I have no idea, but I think it's going to be Gutierrez in low for X44 Vita Carbon.
Winning in Chile, it was a very nice moment. I think we deserve it.
It was a roller coaster, but so happy ending for my debut next to me.
The location is fantastic, you know, and will be the first time, I think, even for me, to race in the grass, green grass, you know.
The weekend was like a roller coaster because we need to win everything to win the championship.
Then we had to go step by step, arriving in a crazy race. We spoke and I said, we have nothing to lose. We need to be first. It's what she did.
And look at those 2 title rivals going together all the way, and it's X44 that take the lead.
And finally, I had just to fight a little bit with Excite. Yeah, I think we did a really good crazy race, and that was the key of the end of the weekend.
Gutierrez and Loeb are through to the final.
We tried to do our best. In the middle of the second lap, my engineer told me something about a penalization, and I tried to be close as possible to take the advantage.
Gutierrez now is within a fighting chance of getting up towards Munnings. Look, she's 1.5 seconds off the back of Katie Munnings. Can she win the title for them?
These are your leaders at the moment, though. Clara Anderson has been brilliant.
Coming up towards the finish line now. There isn't far to go here. Looks like it's going to be a win for Ab Cupra.
But the champions will be X44 with a 7-second time penalty for car number 23.
We did an amazing weekend, you know, to win the last race, and now really we have a lot of confidence to come back, you know, next year and also to fight for the title.
This season it was a very nice races. Also in Chile we won and finished like this with this type of roller coaster makes like a very nice moment for me, and for sure it's one of my best moments in my career.
When it was launched, Extreme E vowed to bring gender equality to the male-dominated world of motorsport. And now, after almost 2 years of racing, it has had a big impact on the female drivers involved in the championship.
Extreme E has made such a change for women in motorsport. I think we've been able to see over the course of the 2 seasons just how much the women have progressed in their ability and talent, and it's been great to have an international spotlight to showcase the talent that is out there on an equal playing field. It's fantastic.
being able to see the progression from the female drivers coming closer and closer and challenging a lot of the male drivers on pure pace. Competition in between the teams is definitely closer than it's ever been.
Mega job. Mega job, well done.
The female drivers, they've improved a huge amount. And what we're now seeing is we're seeing some of the female drivers here are as fast as the male drivers, which I think is a massive step forward for the whole championship.
All women in this series, I think they've all gotten great support that I think hasn't been given to many women before them. So now everyone's catching up, and soon there will be no difference, I think, between the men and the women.
I think the parity between men and women is going to be even closer until it's not even a talking point, until it's just normal that these drivers, driver A and there's driver B, and what sex they are is completely and utterly irrelevant. That's what success looks like for us in Extreme E.
For sure, there's still a disparity in motorsport. There's more men than women, and every event you see several very young female drivers coming out to check it out because it's a great opportunity and it's a great thing that the series has done for motorsport as a whole.
The fact that you are equal no matter what is huge in the sport because it is usually male driven. It's really nice to be a part of a series that it doesn't matter if you're a man or a female.
It's given more females the opportunity to have the investment and development in their growth as drivers. I think it's been a real testament to the championship to take that leap of faith. It's benefiting motorsport as a whole because it's like a case study of what is possible, which is so fantastic for the future.
As part of the championship's commitment to equality within motorsport, Extreme E invited the young Uruguayan driver Maite Cáceres to the final round in Uruguay. The only female driver to race internationally for Uruguay, Maite represents how the future of racing is female participation.
My name is Maite Cáceres and I'm the first Uruguayan female driver to race internationally. But I don't want to be the last, really. My family, my brother, didn't want me to race because I was like the little girl and they wanted to take care of me. But now they full support me. And so I started like 17 years old karting and I did my first vice championship on karting and then jumped into formulas, and that's how everything began. The thing that I love the most about racing, it will be about driving, is that I feel like I'm in my place. Like there's no other place I'd rather be than there inside the car, driving, going fast. It's the passion and then the adrenaline I have. I want to get into Formula 1 or even IndyCar. This is my really dream to get into those categories. I know there's no much women representation there and I'm still young, I'm 20 years old. So I want to prepare for that, and I really like the diversity movement that Extreme E is doing. They're having a female and a male driver on the car. I'm part of the Committee of Women in Motorsports here in Uruguay. We try to sensibilize and to take little girls into the races, the karting races, the formula races, car races, or even rally. So they know that it's not just driving. There's other part, there's engineering, there's mechanics, there's also the people behind the media, the accreditation. You know, it's not a world that's only male and you have to be a driver and that's it. No, there's even more. I love that sentence that you guys have, and that is a mission, and you really do it. It's that race without a trace, and that is fantastic. To not leave anything, you go to extreme places to race, but you have like a mission, a message that is to take care of the world, climate change. I had a fantastic time driving the car. I did the extraction practice here, and I was able to get a little bit of taste of the Odyssey S2E20, and it was really fantastic, really loved it. I'm hoping one day I could race into Extreme E. I always say, if you have an objective, work hard for it. If you want, you can make it. Keep pushing, get motivated, look up, and step by step, and you'll get there.
The first sport to put the climate at its heart, Season 2 of Extreme E saw the continuation of the Championship's legacy programme. Designed to provide both social and environmental support in each race location, the Championship's drivers took time out of race week to visit these, including the 2 programmes set up in the new locations of Chile and Uruguay.
Today, it's all about the reintroduction of the lower water frog. It's actually a species which is found to be critically endangered. There was just 14 frogs left when they found it, and today is all about preparing their habitat so that they can be returned and hopefully thrive and survive. It's very important to the community, so of course it's important to Extreme E.
It was amazing. That's my first time being up close to a wild sea lion before. They are absolutely massive. When you're in the water, it's quite intimidating at first, but actually they're just so curious. I think it's one of those places where you come and you realise like how special the nature is around here.
Season 2 also went one step further in its commitment to the environment. And, in between races, Extreme E's drivers returned to its legacy projects of its inaugural season, despite not racing there this year. These trips ensure that the Championship's good work continued well beyond the race, fulfilling its pledge to leave a lasting legacy wherever it goes.
I'm really grateful to be here in Greenland, and this is an amazing championship that is not only focusing on sports, it's focusing on the bigger picture and what is actually important in the world. The trip itself was something I will bring with me for the rest of my life.
And so each of the locations has a legacy project which actually works with the local community. Here we are in the middle of Greenland, and it's about e-mobility and it's about renewable energy.
It's almost exactly a year later, and to come to the exact place we were planting, you can really see the difference and how quick these mangroves are growing and taking carbon out of the air and putting it back into the ground. It's super fascinating.
We're not racing in Senegal this year, but we're here taking local families and helping them with employment. So there's the 2 aspects. There's the fighting climate change, fighting the sea level rise, but also investing in communities.
We're out here trying to help the world and the environment and bring sport to the front end of that, but also utilize us racing to share this other message. And so it's a good feeling, you know, like just instead of going out there and racing, obviously that's our life and we love that more than anything, but at the same time to do good with it, it doesn't get better than that. And it's pretty incredible what they're doing and bringing this new future, I think, to sports.
I think all the legacy programs that we have done this year and learning about the environment, the local environment, it's just been very eye-opening to me to see what is actually happening in our world firsthand.
Doing those little things on a minor level seems minor, but when you get so many more people involved, it becomes a major effort. So everybody do a little, it'll go a long way.
With the substantial task of setting up a race site in some of the world's most remote locations comes the unfortunate risk of damage to the local environment. As such, Extreme E has put in place a commitment to race without a trace, meaning to leave the race site exactly as it was found. During the final round of Season 2 in Uruguay, in order to ensure this, the championship enlisted the help of a local ecologist. The aim was to help assess the surrounding habitats and keep the damage to the environment as minimal as possible.
My name is Adrian Aspiros. I am a biologist and I specialize in bird ecology and conservation. The Extreme E race site is in an area where we have found about 80 species of birds. Breeding season is very important for any species and of course also for grassland birds. This is the time of the year, so that's why it was very important to try to minimize these impacts on nests and on chicks. With regards to the impacts that a race might have at this site, there are basically 2 risks. On one hand, you have the planning and where the track will be, and some vegetation had to be removed. And then you have the activity of the cars themselves that might crash some nests and threaten some species that live on the ground. this event, the Extreme E race, most of the time activities and projects are also only concerned about climate change. So what I liked about this proposal is that biodiversity was taken into account. So we did a lot of work before the race, about 4 weeks of work, and we are also monitoring nests right now during the race. And again, we will come back after the race is over to do another survey and see how bird activity is at the spot after the race. So the Extreme E team has been doing a follow-up with me during all the study, and they are quite happy with the results, and they told me they are going to publish these, the final report so it's available to everybody who wants to see it. I hope we can all make an effort to try to contribute to conservation of birds and the environment in general.
Over the course of the last 2 seasons, the championship has had to ensure that even off the race site, its practices are aligned with the environmental ethos that Extreme E stands for. That's where the Explorer Lounge comes in. This exclusive on-site hospitality centre welcomes local guests in whilst promoting sustainable practices and local artisans at each race location.
I'm Harry Ellard, I'm the Hospitality Operations Manager at Extreme E. We're in the Explorer Lounge. This is our base on site for guests. When we first thought about what we were going to do for our hospitality, we thought we'd try and rewrite the rule book in terms of what a hospitality offer would be. We thought, well, we're going to these quite remote places, and a more rustic approach where we could use sustainable materials like wood and really blend into the environment rather than sort of being this big shiny object in the middle of a field. Once the tent's up and our key features are all in, then we invite in our local artisans. It has to be someone that is local, not maybe even 200 miles away, ideally within the vicinity of the Explorer Lounge. And there's a few pieces in here which are literally from a stone's throw away. We have soaps made from a lady just down the road here in Uruguay. Then you've got the sculptures behind me, which are from a local sculptor. It really brings the space to life and makes the guests feel like they're in the middle of, say, Uruguay or Chile or in a Bedouin tent in Saudi Arabia. I hope guests go away from the space thinking they really have made an effort to make it sustainable. I think typically in all manner of sports, it can be quite one use. And for us, we've used this now 9 times at 9 different events. It's still going strong, and we're going to continue to use it well into the future. The panels that we run are always hosted by one of our scientific panel, and then we invite local scientists, or whether it's our legacy partner in the particular location on site. So we always typically have one that's based around the legacy project. They always get a great reception and a great turnout, and I think people really enjoy them. I think they walk away from this experience having enjoyed the race, but they've also learnt something, and maybe they go away and make a change in their own life. If we change one life for the better, then we've done a good job and it's all been worth it. At the end of the event, we've got to pack everything up. In 2 days, everything's back in our containers, on its way to the St. Helena, and then this ground is back how it was when we arrived. Even the grass underneath this we didn't cut before we came here, so it'll come back exactly how it was before we were here. And it's really fulfilling to see it look like we've never been here, and that's a really important part of what we do here at Extreme E.
As sunset falls on an amazing second season of Extreme E, the St. Helena sets sail once again on a course for Season 3. The season will begin on the shores of Saudi Arabia's Red Sea, ahead of a trip to the UK where Scotland will host the second round for the first time. The rocky island of Sardinia will put the drivers through their paces in round 3 before the series heads across the Atlantic, where either the US or Brazil's Amazon rainforest will be the site for the 4th event. The season finale will see a return to the punishing terrain of Chile's Atacama Desert, where we will find out if X44 have managed to retain their crown, or if new champions will take the all-important Season 3 title.
I think on Season 3 people can expect another thrilling season. Drivers are really now at the top of the knowledge of the cars. We will be increasing power on these cars. We will be learning also lessons from the tracks. The best season so far.
For the first 2 years we've had some fantastic courses, but for Season 3 we're going bigger, better, more extreme. Lots of jumps, bank turns and different types of surfaces.
Really looking forward to getting back into the sand in Saudi, but also taking on some new events as well.
I see maybe America, so I'm really praying for that one. I'd love to bring this to America.
I think, the new location is going to be very interesting. To find the grips of each track is going to be a challenge, and that's Extreme E.
For Extreme E, the message, the purpose is key for the whole championship. That's the reason for us to exist.
With Season 3, we'll go back to the locations that maybe we don't race at anymore, but we still have legacy projects that are ongoing, like Senegal, Greenland. Extreme E is about having impact, so it's not just about racing. The racing's the fun part. The impact is how do we make a real difference in the communities that we touch, and how do we educate and inspire a global audience to get more involved in climate change.
All I want to do is go home right now and work as hard as I possibly can to come back and just want more than anything to win that championship. So Season 3, coming for you.